Morning, everyone. We're hydrating on the Todd and Erin morning stream water.
That was great.
GetBarDaily.com.
That was super fun.
Happy Friday.
All right, let's do a quick check on the morning mountain cam. It's brought to you by, of course, Black Diamond Electric Plumbing, Heating, and Air. They've got a brand new office in Ogden. I'm very excited for them. Oh, it is pretty now. It's going to be unseasonably cold all weekend. Have you noticed that it warms up like midweek and then all of a sudden by the weekend we're suffering again? It seems
fall.
spiteful. It's the end of the world on Saturday. We're very excited.
1 second.
Bats all over me. That's another one. And the latest thing, you remember the juice cleanses? The latest one's going to kill you.
Oh,
probably
really
literally. All right, so as you know,
I got nothing yet.
As you know, Todd is host to a pathogen. We found that out when he became violently ill and vomited 50% of his body weight on Sunday, and we've been waiting for them to
They're supposed to
Culture.
comment. They're supposed to make cultures and
cultures.
and then if it grows, I got something, and they can't give me anything until that happens. I have no message because they're just gonna send me a text saying you're almost dead. Because if you give people with certain issues antibiotics, it makes it worse. So you have to know what you're killing.
You have to know what pathogen you're hosting currently in your body at this time.
I'm like Aliens, the movie with the thing with the.
Could that really happen? No, I mean, you have to admit that would be a great YouTube video.
Does it? Think of the hits. The world is coming to an end. We all should know that.
Oh, that means I'm getting a credit card and I'm signing for everything today. I'm going to buy myself a fur sink. I always wanted one of those.
It's got to be here by tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
It's Friday.
Yeah. I've been thinking overnight of fur sink.
We've heard of this guy,
Now,
David
explain
Mead.
it.
David Mead. We've heard about this guy before.
He actually, the name is familiar and you probably don't remember, but he has a bunch of best-selling books that are all about doomsday. And they quote a lot of his crap in like Doomsday Preppers and a lot of the shows where these people are really hardcore into it. And they go by his premonitions and his pronouncements and his prophecies and all the other P words.
What did you say about his books?
They're bestsellers. He has several.
Yeah, bestsellers. Yeah, they're self-published on ebook.
Yeah.
And
But they still have a wide distribution.
they have fewer than 200 pages, all of them combined out of 13.
Oh, that's why they're
So,
bestsellers, because
it's more
people who get them like to read small.
It's more like a pamphlet. So, no.
Yeah, the word book probably is really
not
more
a
of a...
best-selling author. He's also not a college graduate, which he keeps claiming, because he says that. And just to give some background
Okay, you're
information,
harshing my mellow here. I was getting very
yeah.
excited about the end of the world, and now it's like, oh, well, he may not be because he didn't graduate from college.
He works and manages reports for Fortune 100 companies, 1,000 companies, it says, except he won't tell which ones. He also said he went to Kentucky and studied astronomy, except he didn't say which campus. He said he went to other universities in Louisville. They don't know who he is. So anyway.
So why are we even bringing this up then? So apparently this is a completely random person that nobody knows that we're bringing
is
it up.
fake news. He knows of a secret planet, Planet X, which has been hiding behind the moon for a long period of time.
Okay.
And that we cannot see because it's on the other side of the moon, and it's going to come crashing into Earth following earthquakes and storms.
Earthquakes?
Storms?
Storms and earthquakes.
We have those already.
This week, a lot of them.
And fires. We've had a lot of fires,
Fires too.
All right,
Actually, this is actually a little uncomfortable.
All right, so this is what I want you to do. Since
Do we want to go back and cover that a little more?
Just to be safe, maybe he did a home study program. He didn't go to college. Maybe just did it online, like Phoenix University. You know what you should do? This is what I want you to do. I want everyone to go to the bank. Since the world's going to end on Saturday, I want you to take that money. I want you to put it in a grocery bag. Okay? Then I want you to drop it right here at the station, and then go about and I'll give you a good jug of water for survival. And then you just go away. I have a lot of faith in the end of the world on Saturday. What time on Saturday? Because I'd really like to watch the college football.
Oh, we wouldn't want the end of the world to inconvenience your sports. We really wouldn't want that to happen, would we now?
Well, that way BYU wouldn't have to lose.
You're so mean. They're trying really hard.
Yeah, they are.
I never thought I'd see the day I was defending BYU.
I know, right? And you went to the university.
I know, but I feel so bad for them.
Oh, look at
I feel very badly about how they're doing?
West High is a new mascot.
Bats all over me. Sorry, that's my favorite vision. If you've never seen a lot of bats all in one place, you apparently haven't been to West High, because something that my most entertaining statement about that is somebody said, and I quote, "We must have left a window open." And it's like, no, I don't think that's how that happened,
Ew,
guys.
cool bats.
There's 200 bats running around West High School, and so people were screaming like complete monkeys, and I can't blame them. So staffers from the Salt Lake County Health Department had to be in there, and they were checking everybody for rabies.
For rabies?
And, yeah, but I like this kid, though. He goes, it's kind of scary, but it's cool, too. He says, it's a little weird to see the bats go around your head, but I kind of like it.
Plus, it got him out of English.
Well, see, that counts for a lot there. It's very, very funny, though. They said, I heard somebody left a window open. I don't think you can get 200 bats by leaving a window open, but maybe I'm wrong. But in any case, apparently the school sits along the bats' migratory path. And so somewhere along the line, the bats must have went, hey,
And it's
it could be awesome.
and it's higher education.
I'm sorry, I like bats. We had a cabin that was so infested with bats that they actually had to write it as a disclosure on their real estate form. We have bats.
Just handwritten.
And
We
Todd
have
and
bats.
I were like, okay, because it was in the mountains. There's bats there, and then
And I gotta tell you, I like animals, and I've handled animals, and I've handled like baby raccoons and big grown-up raccoons. Don't handle them, by the way. And I'm okay, and snakes and spiders and stuff like that. But there is something about bats, and we're up in the attic that hadn't been finished in the cabin, and there were 4x8 sheets of plywood leaning up against it, and I said, hey, Todd, I call myself my name, because if I call myself Bob, it'd be stupid. And I said, well, I wonder what kind of plywood I have. First sheet, second sheet, outside, siding.
I should go check
the
that
last
out.
sheet, the last sheet I pull back has got a group of 10 bats hanging on it, like right about here. And so I leaned it slowly against the wall, and I went downstairs, and I had 4 stiff drinks. Then I put some gloves on.
he had big starry eyes, and he went, we have bats. I
And
went,
so
yeah, I know. They said
the
it on
little window
disclosure.
right there, and I opened it up, and I had gloves on, and I pulled it back like this, and I just went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 10. I shut the window in like this, and I did the manly thing, which is
And then as he was sitting there doing the Nelly dance, he heard that
on the metal roof.
because they were coming back into the open
Vent.
area
There
that
was
they'd
a
come in
vent.
the first place.
On top.
It was great.
I left. All right.
Well, they were very sweet.
Well, we
They
didn't
do
burn
any
the place
harm.
down.
All right. Before we go on, I want to tell you about Rio Grande. They did a very interesting special session for this Utah lawmakers. They okayed 11 point. How much did they put into this? It was millions. And the nice thing about this is they actually found a lot of the money through matching grants and different things. So they're shuffling around about $5 million to get it started, and then
Get what started?
Operation Rio Grande, and then the long-term costs are going to be around $67 million. House Speaker Greg Hughes actually was pretty smart. What he wanted to do, he said, you have to have a social order restored, and he said right now it was just basically an open-air drug market.
Okay.
And so they fenced off the street, and he's creating a courtyard.
It's blocked
They have
now.
to show identification to enter, but you do not. It's really important to know this. You don't have to show any kind of papers. Like you don't have to prove
Like a Gestapo thing.
residency or anything
Right.
to get a card. They just need to have an ID
For services.
so that you can go in and you can get services, and you can still even go into the shelter and get meals without the card, but it's helpful. But this way, they've got workers who will help with housing, medical, mental health care, employment. They've got everything in one place.
Nice.
They're going to have drug sniffing dogs and security cameras to patrol it, because the homeless population is one of the most vulnerable, and they were the ones getting preyed on by the drug.
Did you tell them that one of the expressions was it was a drive-through for dope?
It's just heartbreaking. So they'll have portable toilets there, hand washing stations, bike lockers, which is really cool, and then protective shade and heating for winter and summer.
Nice.
So, I mean, it's a great thing. It'll be more of a logical stopping place where people aren't just standing there waiting for the shelter to open so they can get back in. They can do things, they can get themselves settled, get more services, and maybe go out and find a job. I mean, it's going to be, I think it's a good idea. I think it's going to work really well. So
That's
I'm excited.
very cool.
So, fingers crossed, there is progress, because I know that for
And
a lot of people,
And they got to close off the street, and that's good for 2 years, and that's 2 years is when the shelter is going to close.
And it was interesting listening to them wrangle over it, because this is this weird collision jurisdiction-wise of state,
Who owns the street?
yeah, and county and city. And so
Right.
they all kind of had to wrangle together to make a deal on who was going to get what. But, we go into the 6th South on-ramp every day to 5th South to get to work. the cleanup down there is astounding.
They've done a lot of
Remember everything
cleaning.
around 4th and 5th West where
Yeah.
it used to be just cheek by jowl tents and encampments, and so it's interesting.
So there you go.
So hopefully that's going to work out well.
You ever been wondering to yourself, hang on, I might have pathogens. You ever wonder what happened to the Volkswagen scam? This is the Volkswagen, the diesel models that were set up with a chip in them in their computer system to fake out the mileage people. And
So they were supposed to be really clean and-
they actually put out more pollution than they said they did. And they got great mileage because of that. Well, anyway, they've been purchasing them back. They call it Dieselgate. Now they've gotten so many of these back that they had to find a place to put them. Like
So they had big random lots, right?
well, in Baltimore, they had a huge place to put them. Air Force Base in California, closed Air Force Base, and just started stacking the cars up. Also, the Pontiac Silverdome, former home of the Detroit Lions, and so they had a huge parking lot. So they started putting all
that's
the
so
cars
funny.
next to each other, all lined up like a used car lot of cars you cannot buy. Well, evidently,
There's an irony.
somebody decided that those cars were left there and they were unlocked or locked, it didn't matter. And they thought, let's steal them.
No.
So,
Because it's not like anyone's like, I'm going to protect this lot because it was all the cars that they weren't supposed to be able to use anymore.
right. And so basically what happened is the people keeping track of the VIN numbers started seeing the VIN numbers come up around the country. And especially in places like Kentucky. And they started showing up again. So
Isn't that interesting?
at auctions. They were buying these for $11,000 each and selling them for about $18,000.
So somebody was stealing the cars,
Right.
then selling them for 11 to the auction yards,
Selling them
which
to
would
11,
then,
and they'd sell them for 18.
so they were clearing 11 grand a car that they were
just
stealing.
kind of figured out, after the fact.
You know, it's funny though, because when they did the whole thing where it was cash for clunkers and you could turn in cars and
That was cool.
And they disabled each car that was turned in immediately. You told me they pour something into the engine that basically turns it into
It was
a block of.
It was actually horrible. We were doing a lot of on-site promotions and remote broadcasts and radio at these car dealerships, and they'd line all these used cars up, and you'd walk down and you go, "My gosh, that's like a 1973 Bronco."
Yeah, that's
and
cool. That's
That's a
vintage.
cool car, and it's like so you could so fix this one up, and it drips some oil, but who cares? And then what they do is they open up where you put the oil in, and they have a gallon of this stuff, and they just pour it in, and once they're done pouring, they take the empty jug and they put it on top of the engine and leave the hood up. And basically what happens is it goes in and it turns to glass. It just crystallizes, and that car is never
Wow.
going to run again. It was
Wow.
horrible, but it made people buy cars, and I'm not sure if it worked or not, but it's a good story.
Interesting. So,
Mm-hmm.
well, I guess that's at least enterprising for whoever was stealing the VWs. And I guess I'm not really surprised because, yeah, they'd be like, why would I bother to guard the lot? These are all the bad cars.
That's true.
But to me, I'm sorry. I'd look at it and go, no, this is a viable car and I'm stealing it.
Where's your juice?
Oh, I didn't have it this morning. I'm just drinking water.
You were juicing. Erin is
I've been juicing.
cleansing.
I've been cleansing.
How does that work for you?
I am ready to knock over a KFC just for a bucket of chicken.
Okay.
I really miss chewing.
How many days of juicing so far? 2 days.
3.
Juicy.
What is this? 3.
Used to see when it was 1. Juicio, the founder of this, Silicon Valley's hot starvation
Juicero.
fed. What's his name?
Juicero is a big one.
They said he had a juicer that was. Bleh.
Oh no, Juicero's the one. It's if you've probably seen these, and if you haven't, it's a cold pressed juice machine. It was $400, and then you have to put in a mass quantity of fruit and vegetables because it's cold press.
That's all over now. That's all over.
Oh,
We're not doing that anymore.
but I thought all the beautiful people were doing that.
No, the founder, Doug Evans, he said, no, you know what? We're done with that. Probably his profit margin went down. So he said, you know what we're going to do? He said, a minimum, and this is a great thing, raw water. Don't be judgmental. Let's listen, shall we? Raw water. Okay, let's start judging. It's a 5-day fast, and what you drink is water.
Is it special water?
Matter of fact, it is.
Who saw that coming?
2.5 gallon jugs of Fountain of Truth, fresh raw spring water, priced at $15 a piece, or $11 if you buy 20 jugs at a time.
Which would be $220 for
And
water.
there's also a reasonable deposit of $22 per jug, figuring that some people aren't going to return a jug or two, and
Are you serious?
there's some extra cash.
$22 per jug?
Yeah, so let's just run through this, people. You drink water and you lose weight. This is what. Watch this. Watch this. Ready? Watch this. I feel lighter already.
Maybe it doesn't count because it's not raw water. You can't say that's raw water.
Okay.
I bet it's the raw part that makes it extra special. Okay, once again though,
I think it's the price that makes it
this guy
special.
is a multi-millionaire.
He's selling water.
Multi-millionaire. So
Good
somebody's
grief.
buying the raw water. Look, we all want to lose weight, but at some point, don't you just go, well, that can't be possible. I mean, seriously. I'm just grateful that the Southern California trend of remember the high colonics, how everyone had the high colonics and they were all, and if you don't know what this is, it's basically water into you and then everything comes out.
And not through here.
And it's not attractive or comfortable or appealing in any way, but they would swear, of course, that you would, your hair would grow back and you'd be thinner and happier. And blah. So everyone in Southern California is getting their, colon cleansed.
As a matter of fact, the funny story is that's how Kenny Loggins met his first wife.
His second wife.
His third wife.
Fourth. 11th.
Seventh.
27, 9. But in
That's
any
pretty
case,
good. If you can date someone after they've seen that says something. I mean, when he's probably going like this. Hey, lady, the eyes are up here.
Okay, we should move on now to Daisy in the Gephardt
right.
Daily Newsroom. I think that would be for the best. She's brought to you by Fink & McGregor. These are mortgages made simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. You'll find all manner of options, and someone will call you back within one business day to help you out. Also by All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. 24-hour service, and this is the time of year things are turned off, things are turned on, and you could really use John's help at allutahplumbing.com. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Hello everyone, here's what's making news Friday, September 22nd on GephartDaily.com. Brigham Young University's dining services is easing its hard stance on a soft drink. The school will be selling cola, to be specific, and even more precisely, Coke, due to the school's existing contractual obligation with the company. BYU is selling cola after banning the caffeine-laced soda since the mid-1950s. Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have been divided on whether colas are permitted by the Word of Wisdom, a scriptural admonishment to avoid items including hot drinks, which church leaders later interpreted to mean coffee and tea. And in other news from the church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has acquired the printer's manuscript of the Book of Mormon, and the $35 million sale price was apparently provided by donors. The LDS Church called the book the keystone of their faith. Elder Stephen E. Snow, church historian and recorder, said, "We hold the Book of Mormon to be a sacred text, like the Bible." And organizers of the Salt Lake Comic-Con have announced that legendary performer Dick Van Dyke will need to reduce his efforts at Salt Lake Comic-Con for the benefit of his health and well-being. A statement on the Comic-Con website says he will only be able to sign autographs. He will not be available at this time for photo ops or a panel. Thank you in advance for your understanding and compassion. For up-to-date information, go to saltlakecomiccon.com. And now a look at the Wasatch Front weather, where it's fair to say that fall has officially fallen. Friday and Saturday will see highs in the low to mid 50s, and then it begins to creep back up again to the lower 60s. That's it for now. For more local headlines 24/7, go to GephartDaily.com. For now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. I want to tell you about someone you need to know about, and that would be John at All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Think about the weather right now. What's going to be going on? Oh, your furnace. I always like it when you turn it on for the first time because there's that cool smell, right? And guess who's going to...
dust burning?
Yeah, and guess who's going to check that out for you and make sure everything's okay? And that would be John from All Utah Plumbing, Heating, and Air. There's also other things that you want to check, and they will do that for you. They can do a walk through your house, especially if you have like a new house. Think about that. You got a drippy faucet here. You need a new set, a new garbage disposal. You need a new toilet over here. You want one more high efficiency. You want to remodel your bathrooms. Licensed contractors, the works, and they're waiting to help you. So if you need a plumber, write this down. This is not the thing you want to discover, like going, oh, what was Todd telling me about? All something, all something. It's All Utah Plumbing at allutahplumbing.com. All right, there you go.
Are you ready for telling me something good?
Yes, I am.
Okay, this to me is a big one because I still remember my sister crying when she opened up the wedding cake box for their wedding.
Which
Jenny,
sister?
Jenny, and the cake was circular instead of square.
We did that at our house.
Yeah. Remember, though, that the wedding cake was circular rather than square, which is what she had ordered?
And she is precise.
Because she is graphic designer, and it was supposed to be square.
Okay.
And the wedding was like in a half an hour, so it was what we got. But it almost killed her. I mean, it did.
It's an important thing.
So there's a lot of there's a lot of elements of a wedding that are really crucial to a bride. Well, this one was kind of interesting. They have the cutest name too, Millie and Matt Maltby.
Oh.
They were on their way to their wedding venue to get married, and they went to the Berryhead Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And Millie, who loves to bake, she's an enthusiastic amateur baker, made their wedding cake, and she had spent months researching it, and days and days and days.
Dreamt about it, I'm
putting
sure.
it together and doing all the little dowels and all of the decor, and it was very, very pretty. It was like this ombre pink shade that goes down, and
I
they
had
secured
no idea
it.
what she just said, but
They secured it, and they opened the trunk, and the only thing that was survived was the top, the little top part.
where'd the rest go?
And and as you can see, it's in pieces.
Oh no.
I think we've got the pieces picture, as a matter of fact. Now, it was really sweet because she said the important thing is I was getting married to the man of my dreams, and so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt, on the other hand, was heartbroken because he knew how long I'd taken to decorate the cake and how I'd been taunting him about how yummy the cake was going to
Right.
be. So I was sad to think we wouldn't have a cake, but okay, I've got the man of my dreams.
So there you go.
No, but this is cool. Claire from Patty's Piece of Cake Bakery was delivering cupcakes to the hotel at the same time that everyone was looking at the cake, and she took a look at it. She went, I could do something with that.
What?
So the bride didn't even know. So she took it back to her bakery, and she said, with time against me, I just didn't have time to bake and cool and decorate a new middle tier. So thankfully, I have a dummy cake that I used to create the new middle tier.
Oh, like styrofoam.
Yeah, the top was still a delicious smelling lemon cake, and I stripped it back down, crumb coated it, and coated it in white.
Oh, funny.
And then she managed to reset all the rest of it and recreate all the frosting exactly the way it was.
I forgot they have fake cakes as display models,
And
right?
she stayed up all night, and she had it back to the hotel in time for the wedding. Now
And
listen to this.
She just showed up.
Listen to this. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting the bride and groom. I didn't even know their names other than Millie and Matt, and that was because of the cute cake topper. So Miss Millie and Mr. Matt, which cake plans did not go in your favor, I am pleased to have present you with the cake that I hope will save your day.
That is so nice.
She never even met them, and she worked all night to make their cake again.
I would have liked to seen their faces.
When they went into the reception, it's like boom,
what
cake's
the-
there.
This is somebody else's cake. We can't take it. Oh, yes, we can.
Isn't that sweet? I know, I love that.
That's amazing.
All right. Coming up next.
Oh, wait, right now. Christopher giveaway.
That's right.
It's
Oh,
Friday.
yeah.
We have to make someone go eat that.
All right, so the big thank you. We've just been so happy that you've all joined us on the Todd and Erin morning stream, and I think we've passed 1.5 million views, I think. And so
What's wrong with you
That's
people?
a lot. So dinner for four at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse seems to be a really good way to do it. So Christina E., congratulations. You are now the very proud recipient of Dinner for Four.
Christina G.
Christina G., congratulations, and I'll be contacting you later today to get it all set up for you.
Oh, coming up.
Oh, by the way, if you'd like to enter to win, just go to any one of our Facebook pages, Todd and Erin, Gephardt Daily or Gephardt Approved, and you can enter there.
Okay, so what we're going to do is play a new game, and I'm really excited about this. It's called Guess What Happens Next,
Oh, the excitement.
and we're doing that next.
Todd and Erin's morning stream brought to you by Black Diamond Experts, electric, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called an expert. Fink and McGregor, mortgages made simple. Make sure you go to fink-mcgregor.com and try out their 4-minute mortgage program. It's incredibly easy to find out whether you qualify. The Todd and Erin morning stream is actually available anytime at gephardtdaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page.
All right, so welcome back. It's time to play my new game. It's called What Happens Next. Are you ready to play?
No, actually, most new things that come to your mind frighten me, but sure, let's go with this.
All right. A man was attempting to show his powers of his religious belief.
So this is like a shaman or a
Shaman,
priest?
yeah,
Okay.
shaman.
All right.
And the previous day, well, this is what he did. He took it in, this is in Indonesia,
Indonesia.
and he took his followers and he walked them down to this lake, this murky lake.
So he's going to do something all tricky and impress them, right?
He is, and a lot of people think, oh, he's going to walk on the water. No,
That's pretty cool.
that would be very hard. And so basically what the man did is he took a moment of silence and he cleared his mind and his thoughts, and then he dove into the water. Now the question is, there were alligators there, and now it's the part of the game where I say, guess what happened next? Now, Erin, don't say anything, because I want them to. Let me recap again.
Following the logical train of thought.
Okay, so he goes down to prove it to his congregation. He then turns to the congregation and he says, watch this. And then he dives into the crocodile-infested lake, murky lake. Have you guessed yet? Because the answer is, they ate him.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing.
Why? Why do people do this?
It kind of
And
seems like that would be...
congratulations, everyone seemed to have won. On Facebook, thank you very much. Yes,
100%.
He got eaten.
So was he expecting that his mystical
There's no more.
shamanism
There's no more.
would have
No. The
protected him from said crocodiles? Was
the-
that the plan?
No. The story ends. He was eaten.
Well, I was just wondering about his intent.
There is no intent. He did what he did. He was eaten. End of story. It's a very short story. Well done.
Yeah, really,
Yeah.
well done. Okay, this is really sweet, and I absolutely expect I'm going to see this up at Primary Children's pretty soon. If you've ever taken your kid in for surgery, and I talk to a lot of moms on Facebook, yeah.
Or your husband.
Hi, Brenda. Or your husband takes them in.
Or
you
your
do it-
wife.
Or you do it together.
Right.
Thank you. You know how scary it is, and they're in one of those big hospital beds, and they're taking them along, and they're usually intubated, and all that. You know, they've got their IV line in rather.
And you're staring at those ceiling tiles, and as they start wheeling you down, they crash through those doors, and it's just not a comforting thing.
It's a scary thing.
With kids, yeah, it's even worse.
It's a scary thing for a little kid. Well, there's a San Diego
And
Children's
adults.
Hospital who thought of something, and they actually went down to they went down to a couple of the toy places, and they said, "This is what we want."
Right.
And it's a children's hospital. Who's going to say no to a children's
True.
hospital? So what they did is they opened up a brand new line of remote-controlled luxury mini cars that allow the patients
See,
to
like this.
drive themselves to the operating room.
The kids would drive.
So it gives them the power to be
Right.
able to get into one of the little luxury cars. Look at her little face. Oh my God, she's so
Right.
cute. And so they're empowered to drive themselves. So instead of
Into the
lying there
thing.
on a cold
Yeah.
bed and being really scared
Yeah.
and kind of freaking out, they get mom and dad can walk alongside them.
You know.
And they have like a BMW, Mercedes, or a Lamborghini, ensuring that their ride is a luxurious one.
If that was me, you wouldn't catch up with me until I hit the parking lot. I'm out of there. And plus the fact you're clipping other cars and stuff because you're on drugs. You got an IV bag hanging. You got an injection of some kind of
Okay,
mind
this
altering.
isn't about your weird fantasies, okay? This is about sweet little children in a remote-controlled car that is being guided, but they get to drive.
I'm thinking this. Whee!
You know,
And you have to blow into something, get the thing started.
You know,
and it's awesome.
I give you a really beautiful, sweet story that's supposed to be inspiring and uplifting, and this is what you come up with. Little drunken toddlers all over the hospital crashing into stuff. You are a sick person.
Well, toddlers are just drunk humans.
They really are like tiny drunk adults.
Stumbling around, learning how to walk.
Essentially, yeah.
Natural wonders of the world. You better see them now. Matter of fact, if you have a bucket list, change the next 4 things. Because they're going to be gone. You ready?
This is heartbreaking to me.
Got to see the Great Wall of China. You got to see it now.
Incredible.
Yeah, because it's not going to look like that in very much. Over 30% of the wall has disappeared due to natural erosion and human damage and traffic.
People actually pull out bricks to take home as souvenirs.
People draw on them into the soft brick and write their initials.
Kevin, Celia forever. It's like, really? This is...
And it's China. They should kill you for that,
Yes,
shouldn't
they should.
All right.
This is an unimaginable treasure. This is a man-made thing that you can see from space that was built during
It's going away.
the Middle Ages. I mean,
Great Barrier Reef in Australia, going away. 2012 National Academy of Science revealed that the reef has already lost over 50% of the coral due to climate change and pollution.
that's heartbreaking because this was such an amazing and reserved area that they actually had all these different species of fish and marine life that had never been seen anywhere else in the world because it was such a unique ecosystem. And now it's going to be gone.
Stonehenge.
No, not Stonehenge.
The Druids are just rolling over in their graves if that's what they did with them.
What's happening with Stonehenge?
It's been affected by visitors and their activities. They have chipped pieces off the stone as keepsakes or to sell them online.
Beautiful.
Stonehenge. How long has it lasted? 3,100 BC. And we're going to kill it in a couple hundred years.
We've got that can-do attitude, especially as tourists.
One of my favorite places, just because of the way it sounds, is Machu Picchu in Peru.
Heart-stopping.
Look at this place. I mean, it has survived.
This is one of those bucket list quests.
It was only discovered in 1911. I don't know if you knew this, and it's been there for 400,000 years.
Oh my gosh.
Early 2000s, actually.
That's incredible.
Yeah, 15th century.
That's incredible.
Not anymore.
What's happening with
People
it?
are loving it to death.
Oh, man.
Pollution, which takes the stone apart,
Sure.
and human traffic and the way weakening structures. Yeah, stuff like that.
Man, that's heartbreaking.
So
Try to
that'd
see
be a
them
bit
now.
on your bucket list because it's going to be gone.
I'm not sure that's as inspiring as I might have hoped for.
Next UEA, hit it. Start going. Now,
All right.
what's this about the millennials?
Well, yeah, I don't know why we've been on this bent recently. I think it's just because there's been so many different studies and news stories out about the millennials. But this group in particular, and God bless them, they get nailed a lot for being very spoiled.
I don't understand why everybody picks on them, to be
self-absorbed,
honest.
And these are the kids who are between 18 and 35 years old.
I like to call them
Okay.
the not-so-great generation.
Well, this is a challenge because this is the first generation in the history of our country that will not do as well as their parents did. Because that's always one of our things in this country, and part of the immigrant dream is I will work very hard so that my children will have a better life. And this is the first time, based on economic conditions, social development, blah, 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 these kids will not.
So you say there's something they're better
But
at
there is
something.
one thing they're better at than the rest of us,
Which is what?
which is really, really cool. 82% of millennials above the legal drinking age have volunteered as a designated driver at least once in the last year, and that's compared to 67% of the rest of Americans who are over the age of 35. They also highlight that they've been using social media to plan sober transportation for a night out.
Right.
They are 50% more likely to utilize like Uber, taxis, etc. And they are also expressed a lot more concern about facing social shame for drinking and driving. So what they're saying is that it's pretty amazing.
This doesn't surprise me.
So this is the generation that may finally end in the DUI problem because they're the ones who are totally locked into the concept that it's a terrible idea.
This does not surprise me.
How so?
Because they have a lot of time to contemplate stuff like this living in their mom's basement. You know, because you really get to think about it.
Kids, I'm sorry.
You just think more than anybody else. All right, coming up,
I'm
Snow
sorry.
White, you want to buy her house? Do you want to buy her house?
Why not?
Your chance is coming up next.
Todd and Erin's Morning Stream, brought to you by Black Diamond Experts. Electric, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. You'll be glad you called an expert. Fink and McGregor, mortgages made simple. Make sure you go to fink-mcgregor.com and try out their 4-minute mortgage program. It's incredibly easy to find out whether you qualify.
The Todd and Erin Morning Stream is actually available anytime at gephardtdaily.com. Just click on the Todd and Erin page.
All right, I want everyone to put on your imagination caps. Put it on. You didn't do it, did you? Sure. All right, so I want you to think about this. I want you to think about Disney movies, okay? I'm going to take you to Washington right now, Washington State, where someone actually built a Snow White house.
No way. The
that's
Snow White and
for
the Seven
sight.
Dwarfs house?
Okay, so picture it in your brain. Now picture it here.
Oh my God, that's adorable. I want it so much.
It's got the gables.
Look at it. It's perfect.
Now, the description is interesting because it says a sprawling. Well, first of all, 1937 is when Snow White came out.
That is so freaking adorable.
We started. Oh, and so this came out in 1937. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. So
That was one of the first animated ones, yeah.
exactly. So
Look
it
how
pops.
precious it is.
It pops onto reality here and reality for sale, and it's $775,000.
Really?
It says sprawling 2,800 square feet. Is that sprawling?
That's not really sprawling, and especially if we're talking about are we talking actual
It's a real house.
dwarf size though?
No, it's a real house.
It's regular neurotypical size, but it's
Stereotypical.
Well, no,
It's a real house. It's not a miniature.
okay.
All right.
2,800
That's why it's
is not-
$775,000.
Wow.
Right. And it's in Washington.
But
It's
that's
up for
freaking.
sale.
That's freaking adorable.
That is pretty cool.
That is totally worth $775,000.
Well,
I would
here's
totally
the other
buy it.
thought. If you think about Disney animated film, which house would you want? Now, let me walk through it. The Incredibles. They have a ranch.
Well, as you remember, there's a house down in Daybreak that actually is modeled entirely after the Up House.
Up house.
And she,
Victorian-ish.
And the reason why I love this one so much is that she actually had it remodeled, made after the Up House because her son, who has autism,
Right.
loved that show so much. And so she had them build that house. They moved here from California.
I
and
had
she
no
went-
idea that
and
was
she,
a story.
Yeah, and she said, I know that if we build this house like this, he'll be able to fit in Utah. He'll be able to handle it here. And not only that,
Wow.
the wind out there in Daybreak, if you've been around there, it's fairly windy. And her son's like, the wind is horrible. The contractor actually built a little underground tunnel that goes up into the little tower into the treehouse in the back, so that he doesn't have to go in the wind. And she rents it out sometimes for birthday parties for kids who are crazy about the movie.
I had no idea.
Isn't that amazing?
If you had to pick a house, though, which one would you pick?
Of all the Disney movies,
Yeah, because like
I
101
want one of the
Dalmatians
castles,
is
though.
normal.
I want one of the castles.
But they're
That's
all-
not a fair thing to ask.
You want... I don't know if the dwarfs come with that one.
That would be awesome.
But Cinderella's house.
It's a
Not the crappy part she
no,
worked in.
No, like the cool. Yeah, it's
The
like
rest of it.
It's a beautiful like French estate. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's me.
I could see that. Can
That's
I have a
my
castle
house.
though?
That
Fun-
is a castle.
No, it's a chateau. There's a difference. A castle has spires and servants. A chateau only has Cinderella, but some leaded glass windows and a
Anyway.
lot of dormers. There's always a lot of dormers in estates. Have you
So
noticed that?
if you want to buy it, go ahead and buy it. It's for sale.
That's really not a bad price.
Daisy will help us out with some national headlines.
All right, fine. Moving on. It's brought to you, of course, by Fink and McGregor. If you go to fink-mcgregor.com, you can find out a ton of information about some of the mortgage options available to you, and they'll even have someone call you back within the next business day. And also by Black Diamond Experts. Black Diamond Experts in electric, plumbing, heating, and air. Now they have a brand new office in Ogden. Just go to blackdiamondexpert.com. Daisy, my dear, what is going on today?
Good morning, Todd and Erin. Hello again, everyone. Here's what's making news around the world and nationally on Friday, September 22nd on GebhardtDaily.com. Hurricane Maria is expected to make a turn towards the north-northwest Friday. Maria should move near the Turks and Caicos Islands and the southeast Bahamas Thursday night and Friday, the National Hurricane Center said. The storm is a Category 3 hurricane. Hurricane conditions are expected to begin in portions of the Turks and Caicos Islands and the southeastern Bahamas Thursday, with tropical storm conditions beginning in these areas, the NHC said. Rainfall in several Caribbean islands, including the Dominican Republic, could cause life-threatening mudslides and flooding. And a recent study by the University of Utah estimates that employer-sponsored health insurance spent at least $6 billion extra on premature infants in 2013. Roughly 1 in 10 infants are born prematurely in the United States, which affects survival and quality of life. The study, published in the September edition of Pediatrics, found the majority of the money spent was on premature infants with major birth defects. And scientists have constructed a robot capable of building molecules, the world's first molecular robot. The nanoscale robots can use a tiny robotic arm to move and build molecules. The molecular robot works by triggering chemical reactions in specially designed solutions. Eventually, the robot could carry out medical missions or work on chemical assembly lines. That's it for now. For more headlines from across the country and around the world, go to gebhardtdaily.com. For now, Todd and Erin, back to you.
All right, welcome back. And Black Diamond, I was just telling you they're called Black Diamond Experts, but they really kind of are. I mean, it's actually in the email. It's blackdiamondexpert.com if you want to go to the website and learn more. But these are the guys who are licensed, bonded, and insured. The people they send out to your house actually know what they're doing. I've had a couple of repair people come to the house that we weren't really sure they knew any more than we did. But these guys do. And not only that, they'll also give you a bid that is fair and reasonable. They will do the job to everyone's satisfaction, and then the price you pay will be exactly what was bid. Not any extras, not little overages, not those little extra charges that drive you nuts, none of that stuff. They're square, that's what they do. And they have a brand new Ogden office right now, so they have even more options. And with 24-hour service, they will come when you call them screaming hysterically. Don't scream, they hate that. But anyway, go to blackdiamondexpert.com to find out more.
All right, you have a story about Garth Brooks, and I have to tell you, I'm not a big fan of country music, but when I saw Garth Brooks in concert
Central Park.
on TV, I saw a video of the thing, I was like really impressed.
You've been fond of him ever since.
Ever since, because it's like he's playing in the stadium of like, I don't even know how many. And he sits down the edge of the stage. Before that, he's jumping through fire. And then he sits down the edge of the stage, and just acoustically he plays. And the crowd gets to sing with him. And it was so magical. And he seems like he pays a lot of attention to his audience.
Yeah, very much so. And one of the things that I think is really cute is very often he will point out signs in the crowd and go, oh, cool.
They even know to bring signs. It's like the Today Show.
Exactly. If there's messages they want to send. But this one was amazing. September 1st was an amazing day for Gail and her 6-year-old son. They'd been dealing with cancer for a year.
Him
with
or
her?
Her?
With her little 6-year-old. And
Her
as
little
every
guy.
mom knows, hi Brenda, I can't imagine how terrifying that is for a mom with a little one with cancer. They had
Did they
been
both go to
financially depleted.
Yeah.
And a couple of days earlier, WestJet Airlines had donated tickets for Gail's husband and her son so they could fly in to be with the rest of the family at the place where he was being treated. And the Ronald McDonald House Charities posted about the gifted plane tickets along with a photo of the family on Facebook. So another woman
There
there
it goes.
was reading about the Facebook page, and she went, oh my gosh, she goes, I've got 2 tickets to the Garth Brooks concert in Calgary.
There you go.
On September 1st, you're here. She says, I'd really like to treat you to a date night. You know, the kids are going to be at the Ronald McDonald House. They'll be taken care of. And then maybe you could get a minute to be alone. And it's for
Nice,
everybody.
nice
That's one of the
break.
things with Ronald McDonald that's a big deal is that giving that parents a chance to go back and be together because you're so, you know what, you're so torn. You're so torn apart. I know, sorry. As parents working with your kids, that it's really powerful to have that moment where you can reconnect again.
Figure out what the other
And so-
spouse's name is.
And so Gail and her cute husband get all dressed up and they're all happy. And just before they're about to leave, they get a phone call from the doctor. And they've been waiting for this doctor call. And it turned out that their son was cancer free.
Okay, fine.
That the last test had shown
You did it to
he's
me.
in the clear.
All right.
So
By the way, this
his-
doesn't work.
his immune
You're trying
system-
to evacuate water. It doesn't work.
Now, her little guy's immune system is still very, very much at risk. So
Fragile.
obviously he couldn't go to the concert now with all the
Right.
germs and stuff. But she was so happy and she couldn't stand it. So she's like, she wanted to do something. So she wrote on a big card that says, today my son Mason was declared cancer free, my 6-year-old. And so she and her husband were in the audience and she had her sign and they're doing
Right.
all the swaying and
Right.
stuff. Well, Garth Brooks caught a look at it and he stopped the show. He saw the sign and he stopped the show, sat down and went, come up here, I want to talk to you. And there she is. She's like, well, what? So they go up to the front of the stage. She engages her in some questions. And
With a microphone?
Yeah, it says, tell me where. He says, put your sign up so everyone can see it. And they're standing there in the Calgary Stadium and 35,000 people are cheering for her son, who is now cancer-free. And he took the guitar off that he was wearing,
Right.
that he had been playing, and he handed it to her. He says, why don't you give this to your son? And he says, I'll be sending you some money for guitar lessons for him.
What?
I know, right? Can you imagine, as a parent, the joy you would have if sitting here on a stage in front of 35,000 people with this artist that you adore, and they're all as feeling the same joy you are for the life of your son. I know, I didn't think it was going to get this intense either. Sorry, I thought it was going to be like a lighthearted, like, look how happy. It was a more involved story than that. But it's a happy
I'm
story.
going to strangle my wife for making me cry.
Garth Brooks, totally A.
Coming up
Very
next,
cool.
drones are trying to kill you. Or are they?
It's almost like a palate cleanser after this
Gosh.
story.
It's coming up next. You jerk.
We're brought to you this morning by Executive Transportation. Elegant service, professional style. Go to executiveutah.com. And All Utah Plumbing. Your home deserves the best. 24-hour emergency service at allutahplumbing.com. Did you know you can catch the Todd and Erin morning stream any time of the day or night on Facebook, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and GephardtDaily.com?
All right, you're still a jerk, I'll tell you that. All right,
Sorry.
so talked about Amazon. Amazon's thinking about drones. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about drones, and they're going to deliver stuff to your house. Now,
No, I'm so excited.
one of the problems is, what I think of is power lines
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and horny eagles.
Okay, the eagle thing hadn't really occurred to me, but okay,
Right?
sure.
If you think it through, great.
They don't look anything like eagles.
Yeah, but when they're frisky, look at it. That could be an eagle. That could be an eagle. Anyway, so the FAA is still like, you can't deliver stuff. There's things that are going to happen. What if someone gets contacted by a drone, like hit?
Or like it drops something on top of them.
The study has begun, my friends. They have been testing drone impacts on humans.
That is epic.
And they've been taking crash test dummies who have all the sensors in them. And they've been taking the
What will happen if you get hit in the face with a drone?
Well, 3 size drones, the small ones, not that much damage, nothing fatal, no potential.
Maybe a Band-Aid.
Well, they come at them from different angles, too. They just smash them into them. The medium ones, a little more serious, possibly. There might be some damage, some hurting, ouching. If you were in the hospital, it'd be the frowny face of pain.
All right, yeah.
And then they take the big ones,
Okay, here we go.
which just take their heads off. Not really. But they will leave permanent damage. And so that's what they're trying to figure out, because then the big ones can weigh up to 25, 30 pounds, because they're carrying big stuff. That's the
Yeah, if
plan.
they're carrying stuff, then the weight ratio is much different.
The plan is not to carry a 6-pack, or is it? Their idea is to take small packages, and they'll buzz to your door, and they'll just drop them, and they'll tear off and go get something else. It's not like for flat screens and stuff like that, but the big
That's a
ones,
relief.
the big ones can carry stuff. Like, what if you get a new knife set? So that's what they're testing, and
How badly
oh my
can the
gosh.
drones hurt you?
Oh my gosh, I was watching parts of this the other day, and they have all these mannequins set up in a row, and the guy's just steering them right into their heads.
But those would be some epic drone fail compilations too.
Wouldn't you like to see
Intentional,
it
but
from
still.
the drones, from the human's point of view? Anyway,
Oh, I could give you that. That's the
we're-
same way when you flew that drone you had into my hair and we had to cut it out like it was a rabid bat.
it was science.
I
It was a
remember that
test.
vividly.
It was a test. Tell me what this is about. I know the ice bucket challenge. I have to actually go blow my nose because you made me cry.
Really?
Yes, I will slow motion punch you now.
Would you like to go get some tissue now while
Yeah,
I
start
tell the
telling
story?
them about the orange jacket
Well,
challenge.
you remember, of course, the Ice Bucket Challenge 2 or 3 years ago, and then, of course, last year it was the Push-Ups Challenge, and that was suicide awareness for veterans, and how serious it was, and the fact that there were 21 veterans a day who would commit suicide here in the United States, and so the push-ups were in remembrance and trying to push awareness. Well, this latest one is very, very cool. This actually came up from The Kingsman. This is the new movie that's coming out this Friday, and it's the sequel from a couple of years ago. And if you remember the orange jacket that the dog wears, the little pug wears as part of the Kingsman, entourage, they decided to do the Orange Jacket Challenge. And this would be for Help for Heroes, which is, once again, another veteran support group that works. That's Halle Berry wearing her orange
Yes,
jacket.
it is.
She looks. Does she ever age? I mean, ever? Look at her.
Does she ever put a shirt on?
She doesn't need to. She's perfect.
Okay.
I mean, she's really just, that woman is unnatural. Here's another one of the stars, very cute, from the Kingsman.
Okay.
He looks very delightfully scruffy.
So everybody's got to wear
Channing
that jacket.
Tatum's got one,
Oh,
and they had all the cute
look.
female stars, and
So what's the challenge again?
then Colin and Mark Strong, the two big ones. There's Jeff Bridges, and the challenge is that they're putting the orange jacket challenge on, and
Because?
you're supposed to take a picture of it, and then you're supposed to send the jacket to a friend and make them take a picture.
Oh, I see.
And then you're supposed to donate and add awareness to the Help for
Oh, I
Heroes
see.
challenge.
Is there more than one secretly?
There's many,
Yeah,
and,
okay,
and you're
all right.
supposed to be able to and
right.
either make your own, get your own, or
Oh.
get one of the other ones. But they start passing around between friends, and then of course the more photos appear, then the more donations.
So what you're
and the more
looking
awareness.
for is a hideous piece of clothing.
Really, the most unnaturally attractive orange
Like
jacket one
or
can find.
Or a paisley, but it has to be orange.
Orange.
And then you give it to your friends, and they have to keep it moving.
I wonder what Deseret Industries has right now.
Let's go find out.
I think we should.
And what are they raising money for? I'm sorry, I missed.
No, it's cool. It's Help for Heroes, and basically this is a support for the wounded, injured, and sick service personnel, veterans, and also for their loved ones. These, it's family support as well.
Support, right.
And I'm sorry, when it comes to veterans, it's like, really? Are you going to say no? Anything you want.
Right, exactly. And that's a great
Anything.
thing. And a lot of people, and did you point out the thing about the ice bucket? Because did you point out the fact that people criticized it at first? Did you point that out?
That it was a waste of water.
Waste of water, and Matt Damon, who his entire cause is to get water to third world nations, he did it. He used the tank water in his toilet. He stood in a little kid's pool. He dumped it on himself. He collected the water and put it back in the tank of his toilet to make the point. But he's like, well, they're so stupid and all that stuff. The money they raised, that at the end of that year, they came through with a breakthrough
An incredible breakthrough.
because of that money.
Yeah. So, yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, just because 4 million people do it doesn't mean it's stupid.
Now I have to go find a hideous orange jacket. I can do this.
Probably look at my closet. Will and Grace are back.
Well, wait. Talk about the bikes first.
No, I'm going to do
Will
that
and Grace,
last.
that's right.
I want to talk about Will and Grace
No,
for
I'm
a
so
second.
excited that they're coming back. Do you remember how adorable this was?
Jack is funny.
I know.
She's adorable.
Deborah Messing, and she looks exactly the same too. It's like they haven't aged.
I know, right?
So she and Eric McCormick are coming back. Now they're going to be
Eric
streaming.
McCormick, he's the dark-haired guy,
yeah.
right? Is he still pretending to be gay?
Oh, he's really gay.
No, he's not. That's Jack is
No,
gay.
no. The point is that he is gay, but he has her living with him so that he didn't look gay.
I'm talking in real life. He's not gay.
No, he's straight in real life. He has. a
That's
wife and
what I
kids.
asked.
Yes,
Is he still
exactly.
pretending that he's gay?
Now you're just getting all
She
confusing.
is stinking
Oh, Megan Mullally.
hilarious.
God, I love her so
She
much.
comes from Broadway. I don't know if you knew that.
It's just, the first time you heard her talk in her real voice is like, oh my God.
Who are you?
It was very funny. But anyway, it's live streaming on Hulu. It's supposed to, and they already talked about how amazing it is, and the energy was there the minute they all got back together again. And they said that the new season's hysterical. So I'm really excited.
Is
We're
it
gonna have
back
to add
like
that to our
full
list.
time, or is it just like a reunion?
No, it's full time. It's the first season of live stream on Hulu.
Is this the first time they've ever done this in television?
They've also done that. The Jason Bateman one. Do you remember this one? The wealthy family that were so insane.
Yes.
They've done that as well. And
Yeah,
pretty successful. And there are a couple of other ones as well.
Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. And they got them all together, and they want to do it. It's lucky they didn't kill them off.
I know, right?
Did
Well,
they
then you
kill
could-
off Seinfeld? They all went to prison.
They all went to prison, which was actually even more entertaining.
So they could do the Orange is the New Black Seinfeld.
Kind of.
All right.
See, that's a good mix. You're right.
Okay, I want to wrap
So
this
that's
up.
on Hulu and it debuts this month.
I want to wrap this up with safety, and I don't want you to jump to conclusions right away.
Okay.
And basically, they've come out. The Dutch are big cyclists. They like their bikes. And they think that they're also ones who kind of designed the cruisers. And the cruisers, I will demonstrate. You're on a regular bike like this. The cruisers, you're doing this.
I love those. We take them
Erin
to
loves
Burning
them.
Man. They're much more comfortable.
And she looks quite elegant.
They're much more comfortable.
Across the desert, she does. And basically, we have to give the Dutch the thumbs up for that. And they have come out with a study that says that the bike without the center bar, the top crossbar,
The boy bike.
right, are not necessary, and they cause more. They're more dangerous. Okay, you see here, if you take that
Because
top,
if he lands on that wrong,
if he takes that top bar off, it's going to be much safer. Now,
chances of injury would be considerably
yes,
less.
exactly, because you can dismount the bike. You can get on the bike, so older people can step into the bike as opposed to throwing a leg. Same thing as getting off. You can just your feet off and you can leave. Now, the old people, so I'm pointing that out.
Sure, of course.
Structurally, not a problem. Structurally, not a problem. And it says, they don't think riders are going to be embarrassed, male riders, by riding what was used to be called, now they're neutral sex bikes. I don't think so.
But it used to be a girl bar. I mean, a
Right.
girl bike, yeah, because it didn't have the crossbar.
And if they're not embarrassed wearing those tidy little butt-hugging pants, why would they be embarrassed about riding a bike that has no bar?
I've never understood why it was that the male determinant bike was the one that, to me, indicated that you could get the most injury from. I really would have thought it would have been the other way.
I want to talk to the men, Dutch or not. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to say 2 words right now, and it's going to hit home, literally. Are you ready? Chain slip. Right? Did you vomit? I know I laid on the ground for a long time. How many times did it happen to you? Chain slip. Is Erin laughing right now? Is she? Because she always thinks this is funny when people get hit in the goods. She is, isn't she? You're just sad. You're just sad. I know it'd be painful for women too, but not in the same way.
Okay.
Oh.
I don't even know what that was either.
And if that bar wasn't there, you'd be like, oh, darn it, my chain slipped. But you know how nauseating that was. And you want to walk gentle for a long time. Try to catch your breath. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find a donor. And I'm going to have them plant it on her medically. And then once she heals with those, I'm going to kick her in it. And with that, I'd like to end the show. I know.
Inspiring note.
We are the Todd and Erin Morning Stream. And GetPartDaily.com. You just can't stop laughing, can
I'm
you?
sorry.
You're just so...
I'm sorry. No, it's wrong. It's
such an
funny.
odd character.
It's funny. I'm sorry.
Now, if I can just find a plastic surgeon to do that.